Anna Walker arrived at the old bookstore on a cold, misty evening. The sign above the door read Eternal Pages. She pushed the heavy oak door open and stepped inside, her heart thumping with curiosity. Rows of ancient books lined the walls, their leather spines cracked with age. A single lamp on a wooden table cast a warm glow in the dim shop. As she brushed her fingertips over dusty volumes, she felt as if something, watched her from the shadows. Her hand stopped at a small chest nestled behind a stack of Gothic novels. Inside, she discovered a leather-bound diary sealed with a tarnished silver clasp. The cover bore a name in elegant silver letters, Elena. The letters seemed to shimmer as if alive. Anna's breath caught. She had heard whispers about vampire diaries before, stories of immortal beings recounting centuries of secrets. She slid the diary from the chest, feeling a strange pulse of energy. Her pulse quickened. Uncertain but compelled, Anna paid the shopkeeper and hurried home, clutching the diary to her chest. That night, her small apartment felt silent and empty. She placed the diary on her desk beneath a flickering lamp. The leather cover smelled of time and things forgotten. Anna took a deep breath and unfastened the clasp. Inside, the first page was blank, but the second page held a dedication in flowing script to the one who seeks truth. Just as she read those words, a sudden chill swirled around her. The lamp flickered brighter, then dimmed. She shivered, closed the diary, and retreated to bed. She couldn't sleep. Strange dreams filled her mind, shadows dancing beyond the bed, a face with crimson eyes calling her name. The next morning, Anna woke before sunrise. The sky outside her window was dark gray. She brewed a mug of tea and returned to her desk. She opened the diary again, determined to understand its origins. The first entry was dated October 31st, 1820. The ink was dark but fresh, as though written only hours ago. The handwriting was elegant, each letter shaped with care. The entry began, "I remember the night I first felt the thirst. The moon was full, casting silver light across the castle walls. I had lived for centuries among the shadows, hidden from mortal eyes. But on that night, something changed. I felt alive in a way I never had before." Anna's heart pounded. She read slowly, savoring each word, pausing when a phrase puzzled her. As she encountered new vocabulary, thirst, mortal, shadows, she underlined the words and wrote simple definitions in her notebook. Thirst, a strong desire, usually for water, but here for something more. Mortal, a living being who will die, human. Shadows, dark shapes created when light is blocked. She sipped her tea and read on. The diary revealed that Elena was a vampire who lived in a grand castle overlooking a river. She described her loneliness and fear when she first awoke as a creature of the night. The diary brimmed with emotion, sorrow, regret, longing. Anna felt her heart tug. Though Elena's words belonged to another century, the feelings were universal. She nodded to herself. Reading the diary was helping her learn new words and understand complex feelings in English. She smiled, determined to read every page. Suddenly, a cold gust of wind blew through the window, rustling the pages. Anna looked up, startled, but the apartment was still. She shook her head and returned to the diary. She felt a growing connection to Elena. Both were young women seeking purpose. Anna, too, was seeking something, an answer to a puzzle she did not yet understand. By midday, clouds had gathered overhead, casting the city in a pale light. Anna closed her laptop at the small cafe where she studied English. She practiced speaking aloud. I will finish reading the diary tonight. I will understand Elena's story. Her teacher, Mrs. Patel, encouraged her to speak with confidence, and Anna hoped her clear pronunciation would carry her through the rest of the diary. She ordered another cup of coffee and pulled out Elena's diary from her bag. As Anna read, she noticed the second entry was more urgent. It was dated November 2nd, 1820. I fear I hear footsteps in the hallway. My caretaker, Alaric, has grown distant. He watches me with eyes that burn like embers. I do not trust him, but I cannot leave the castle. The villagers below whisper that I am a monster. They have discovered the footprints in the snow, too delicate for any man, yet lined with blood. I must guard my secret and my heart. Anna's breath caught. She underlined urgent, fear, caretaker, villagers, and embers. In her notebook, she wrote, urgent, needing quick action, very important. Caretaker, a person who takes care of something. Here, someone who watches the castle. Villagers, people living in a small town or village. Embers, small pieces of hot coal or wood in a dying fire. The words felt alive on the page, each one deepening her understanding of the story. She closed her eyes and imagined the cold castle halls, the crunch of snow underfoot, and Elena's fear. A chill ran down Anna's spine. Was someone following her now as she carried the diary through the bustling cafe? She glanced around. The day was busy. People chatted, cups clinked, pastries were served. No one seemed to notice her. She exhaled, relieved, and sipped her coffee. As she left the cafe, rain began to fall. Anna hurried home, the diary pressed under her arm. That evening, she typed new vocabulary into her learning app. Urgent, fear, embers. She practiced using them in sentences. I felt urgent fear when I heard the footsteps. The embers glowed red in the hearth. With each sentence, her confidence grew. Yet, the diary beckoned her back to its pages with a promise of darkness and discovery. Back in her apartment, Anna lit a candle. Its flame flickered as shadows danced on the walls. She opened the diary and began the third entry, dated November 5th, 1820. I have seen his face. Alaric's eyes burned with a hunger I have never known. He told me of the prophecy, a child born under a blood moon who would bind me to eternal silence. He said the villagers fear me, hate me. They want to burn the castle, punish me for my curse. My heart is heavy with dread. I do not understand why I feel drawn to him and yet frightened beyond measure. Anna paused and drew a shaky breath. She read aloud. Heavy with dread, she felt the weight of those words. She wrote in her notebook, dread, great fear, something causing deep anxiety. Prophecy, a prediction about the future. Curse, a spell or hex that brings harm. She returned to the diary, bracing herself for more. Elena wrote of a secret rendezvous in the moonlit courtyard. Alaric had said he would protect her if she agreed to help him fulfill the prophecy. But he had not told her what the prophecy truly meant. Anna's heart ached with empathy as she imagined Elena's dilemma, loyalty to a stranger or defiance of a destiny she did not choose. A sudden knock came at Anna's door. She jumped, candle flickering wildly. Anna? It was her friend, Daniel. He stepped inside, shaking rain from his coat. I thought you might like some company, he said softly. Anna closed the diary and smiled, though her hands trembled slightly. I'm working on something. I'll share it soon, she promised. Daniel nodded and sat at her kitchen table, pulling out his own notebook. I've been practicing my French. We can study together. Anna poured 2 cups of tea and settled beside him. They spent the evening discussing language, punctuated by Anna's quiet glances at the diary on her desk. She did not tell Daniel about the voices she heard when she read, or the feeling that Elena watched her through the pages. She did not yet understand it herself. The next morning, Anna awoke to a pale sunrise filtering through the curtains. She reached for the diary before her feet even touched the floor. Opening to the next entry, dated November 10th, 1820, she read, "Tonight, the villagers will come." I saw torches flickering at the edge of the forest, voices carried on the wind, shouting for my blood. Alaric says we must hide until the blood moon passes, but I cannot stand in the shadows while innocents die. My heart shatters at the thought of their fear, but I cannot reveal myself. I will stay in my chambers and write, hoping that one day someone will understand. Anna's chest tightened. She imagined the villagers, angry, afraid, ready to burn the castle. She wrote new vocabulary in her notebook: torches, sticks with fire at the end used as lights, shatters, breaks into pieces, here an emotional breaking, chambers, rooms in a large house or castle, innocents, people who are not responsible for wrongdoing. Her pulse pounded as she read deeper how Elena described her loneliness, her guilt, and her longing for understanding. Tears blurred Anna's vision. She read, "Someone will understand." She felt that someone might be her. Tears filled as she considered the weight of centuries of fear and isolation carried by a single soul. She whispered, "I understand." The words echoed in the still room, mingling with the diary's silent plea. All day, Anna could think of nothing but Elena's words. She wandered the city streets, trying to lose herself in crowds, but the journal called to her. Every sound, footsteps behind, a distant car horn, made her turn anxiously. Yet she felt drawn forward, as if guided by an unseen force. She returned home before sunset, determined to finish the entry. But when she opened the diary, the page was blank. Confused, she flipped back and forth. No more pages dated November 10th. Had she imagined the words? She closed the diary and ran her fingers over the cover. Sweat beaded on her forehead. She sat in darkness, breathing hard. A single tear slipped down her cheek as she realized the diary did not end where she thought, and that someone or something was orchestrating its contents. Anna spent the next morning at the public library, surrounded by dusty shelves of old maps and books. She scoured historical records for any mention of Elena, Alaric, or the castle by the river. She found an old journal of a local historian, Barton Graves, who wrote of a haunted castle in the hills. According to Graves, townsfolk in the 1800s feared a dark legend, a woman cursed to live forever, chained to the blood moon cycle. No names were given. But Graves noted that the castle's caretaker had disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Anna's heart pounded. Could this be Elena's story? She snapped photos of the pages and hurried home. Rain began to patter against her window. Anna pored over the historian's notes and then turned to the diary. She whispered, "Elena, where are you?" The candle's flame drooped as if by unseen breath. With trembling fingers, Anna opened the diary to a new page, one she had never seen before. It was an entry dated December 1st, 1820. I write this by candlelight, uncertain if these words will survive another night. Alaric betrayed me. He led the villagers to my door, hoping to end the curse in my blood. I saw their faces contorted by hate. I felt the heat of torches at my window. I dared not run, for I had nowhere to go. In that moment, I understood that love and fear are two sides of the same blade. I feel my heart breaking, though I thought hearts did not break for the undead. I cannot speak of what happened next, but I leave this diary to those who seek truth. To the one who finds me, know this: love can be stronger than the darkest curse. Anna's hands shook. She looked around her apartment as though the shadows might come alive. She whispered to herself he betrayed her. Tears welled in her eyes. She felt Elena's pain as if it were her own. She wrote those final lines into her notebook. Betrayed, hurt by someone you trust. Contorted, twisted into a strange shape. Hate, intense dislike. Anna closed the diary and pressed it to her chest. She sank to the floor, tears falling freely. Lightning flashed, illuminating the pale walls. She felt an ache deep within her soul, a connection to someone she had never met. Driven by a sudden determination, she swore to uncover the truth about Elena's fate. She whispered, "I will not let her story end in darkness." That night, Anna dreamed of a silver-haired woman standing at the edge of a moonlit lake. She lifted her head, revealing eyes that glowed like polished garnets. The woman reached out, beckoning Anna to come closer. Anna took a step forward and felt herself falling into the water. She gasped awake, her heart hammering. The digital clock beside her read 3:14 a.m. The apartment was silent. She wrapped her arms around herself, the diary still clutched in her lap. Days passed. Anna spent every spare moment poring over local archives, library microfilms, and online forums. She practiced her English by reading each document aloud, pausing to write down unfamiliar words. Friends invited her out, but she found herself declining invitations, consumed by the mystery. At work, she could hardly concentrate. One afternoon, her coworker, Priya, noticed her pale face and asked what was wrong. Anna stammered, trying to describe the diary and Elena's story. "It's just a story," Priya said gently. "It can't harm you." Anna nodded, but an uneasy feeling settled in her stomach. She whispered, "It is more than a story." That evening, a message appeared on Anna's phone from an unknown number. "Stop searching or find us first." No name, just those chilling words. Anna's breath caught. She looked around her empty apartment as though someone watched from the corners. She dialed Priya's number but hesitated. If someone wanted her to stop, perhaps they knew something. She tucked the phone away, determination mingling with fear. "I must find Elena," she said aloud. Late that night, Anna returned to the cafe where she often studied. The lights were dim, and the barista gave her a curious glance as she slumped into her seat. The diary lay open before her. The next entry, dated December 3rd, 1820, appeared as though it had materialized only moments ago. "They come for me tonight. I hear them screaming in the courtyard, though I cannot see their faces. Alaric stands beside me, his hand on my shoulder. I look into his eyes and see nothing but greed. He offered me freedom from my curse, if I would give him my blood. But I remember his betrayal. My heart trembles with sorrow and rage. I will not be his victim. If I survive, I will seek revenge. If I die, know that I loved once in my eternal life, and that love will haunt me beyond the grave." A cold draft swept through the cafe, rustling the pages. Anna's hand shook as she underlined greed, trembles, and haunt. She wrote in her notebook, "Greed, strong desire for more than one needs, selfishness. Trembles, shakes because of fear or excitement. Haunt, to appear as a ghost or to cause repeated sadness. She read the lines again, feeling a surge of emotion, anger, sorrow, and an unyielding sense of justice. She closed the diary with a snap that echoed through the empty cafe. She stared at the cover. Could Elena have survived? Would the diary reveal the end, or was someone keeping that secret from her? As she packed up to leave, a man approached her table. He wore a dark coat and a wide-brimmed hat that shadowed his face. "You shouldn't read that," he said softly, his voice low and urgent. Anna froze. "Who are you?" she whispered. He did not answer, but placed a slim envelope on the table. She looked down and saw her name scrawled in familiar silver script, Elena's handwriting. Her heart skipped. She opened the envelope with trembling fingers. Inside was a single slip of paper, midnight at the old mill by the river. "Come alone. If you value the truth, do not be late." Anna's breath caught. Her mind raced with questions. Who sent this? Elena? Alaric? Or someone else tied to the curse? She stared at the page, words blurring with tears. Fear and excitement warred within her. The cafe clock chimed 8. She needed time to prepare and steel herself. She tucked the paper into her coat pocket and fled into the rain-slicked streets, heart pounding with anticipation and dread. Midnight came with a rising wind that howled through the empty streets. Anna paused at the foot of the old mill, its broken windows like dark eyes staring into her soul. Moonlight slanted through skeletal beams, casting eerie patterns on the crumbling walls. She checked her watch, 12:03 a.m. A chill wrapped around her, but she pressed forward, clutching the diary tightly. Inside the mill, shadows shifted. She called softly Elena. Her voice echoed. Steps creaked above her. Anna looked up. No one was visible. She felt a presence behind her and spun around. A pair of eyes glowed from the darkness. The figure stepped into the pale moonlight, revealing a woman whose hair shimmered silver. Her skin was pale, almost translucent. Her eyes glowed crimson. Anna gasped. Elena was alive, standing before her. Elena spoke, voice soft as silk. "You have come." Anna's heart pounded in her ears. "You're real," she whispered. Elena tilted her head, expression sad. "I have always been real. This diary was my voice across time. It was never meant for human eyes, yet you found me." Anna stared at her, speechless. I wanted to know your story," she said finally. Elena's eyes glistened with sorrow. "Then you must help me break the curse." Anna nodded, though she did not fully understand. Elena explained, "Alaric bound me to the blood moon cycle. Each month, I relive that final night, forced to choose between love and immortality. The villagers sought vengeance, and Alaric used my blood to create a harvest of darkness. I need one pure human heart, bound by love, to free me." Anna's breath caught. "My heart?" she asked. Elena nodded. "You have shown me compassion, empathy. Your love for knowledge is rare. It can break the ties that bind me." Tears pooled in Anna's eyes. She felt overwhelmed by fear and longing. Could she risk her own life for a creature of legend? Yet she had read Elena's final promise. Love had haunted Elena beyond death. If Anna did nothing, Elena would remain trapped in an endless cycle of torment. Anna took a step forward. "Tell me what to do." Elena offered her a small vial containing deep crimson liquid, a single drop of vampire blood. "Speak these words in English, simple words of love and release. Use your pen, your heart." She handed Anna a pen made of polished silver. Anna swallowed and recited, "I free you from darkness. I give you my heart. Go in peace." With each phrase, Tears blurred her vision. She felt a warmth spread through her chest. In that moment, Elena's icy form began to soften. A brilliant flash of light filled the mill. Anna cried out as the vial shattered in her hand. Blood seeped onto the floor. Elena's eyes softened from crimson to a closed state, as if finally at rest. The walls trembled. Shadows fled. When the light faded, Elena knelt before Anna, now alive in human form, pale but breathing. "Thank you," Elena whispered. Anna knelt beside her, helping her to her feet. They embraced as the first rays of dawn filtered through broken windows. Anna had risked everything, her life, her heart. She felt weak but triumphant. Weeks later, Anna stood on the balcony of her apartment, holding the now empty diary. Its pages had turned to ash the night of Dracula's release, no, Elena's release, leaving only the cover. She ran her fingers over the silver letters, faintly glowing before they too faded. She closed her eyes, remembering the journey, learning English through Elena's words, forging a bond that transcended centuries, and finally saving a soul. Elena lived in a small cottage on the outskirts of town, recovering from centuries of fevered existence. The villagers who once feared her now whispered of a mysterious woman who had returned from death. They left fresh flowers at her doorstep, offering apologies carried by hope. Anna visited Elena every day. They shared simple meals, practiced English and French together, and spoke of dreams previously impossible for each of them. Anna helped Elena learn modern words: computer, telephone, friendship. In turn, Elena taught Anna to read ancient Latin rituals and the poetry of the night. One evening, they walked by the river where the old castle once stood. The ruins had collapsed, leaving only moss-covered stones. The moon was full, but there was no dread in its silver glow. Elena reached out to touch Anna's hand. "You saved me," she said softly. Anna smiled, brushing a stray lock of hair from Elena's face. "You taught me to feel, to understand that every story matters." I could not walk away. Elena kissed Anna's cheek, tears glistening in her eyes. Their hearts, once worlds apart, now beat together. On a quiet Sunday, Anna sat at her desk, writing a letter to her English teacher. She wrote of her incredible journey, of ancient curses and timeless love. She described how reading Elena's diary had given her strength and deepened her understanding of language. She attached a short glossary of words she had learned: dread, haunt, betrayed, prophecy, and noted next to each the sentence from the diary where it first appeared. Her teacher replied with pride, praising her courage and fluency. As summer arrived, Anna and Elena began a small bookshop specializing in rare, magical texts. They named it Moonlit Pages. People came from far and wide, drawn by tales of the shop's origins. Some claimed to feel a gentle warmth as they stepped inside, as though touched by a forgotten love. Anna watched Elena greet customers, her eyes bright with life. She knew that every day was a gift, made possible by a story written long ago. One night, as the shop closed, Anna found a new diary on the welcome desk, its cover plain, awaiting someone to write. She opened it and saw the first page was blank, just like Elena's had been. She pressed her fingertips to the paper. Then she looked at Elena, standing in the doorway under the moonlight. With a soft smile, she wrote the first words: "This is the story of two souls, brought together by words, bound by love, freed by truth." Outside, the moon shone silver on the quiet street. Inside, the bell above the door chimed once as it closed. And in the heart of Moonlit Pages, Anna and Elena began their new story in a language that bridged centuries and hearts, English.